Welcome back to the Ravens Roundtable. I'm your host, Coach Evans, and we're here for a Week 11 edition of the Ravens Roundtable. Ravens won 13-3, and I'm gonna bring my co-host in to we can kind of wrap this thing on up and give our thoughts about what we saw and what we didn't see Sunday. So first up, what up, B?
What's going on, Coach? Thanks for having me.
And those that don't know, B's a Carolina fan, so we don't know how this is gonna go, but we'll see. I think he was kind of might have been kind of upset for a minute when it was close, thinking they was gonna pull it out.
Yeah.
But I know
the right team won though. The right team won. It's all right.
Next, bring in Jose.
What's going on, Coach? What's going on, everybody?
Not much. As far as where they can find you guys, that's why I brought y'all in together. Let the people know what we're starting off, and we'll do it again at the end too.
All right, we are the Lunch Break Hot Take. We do a live show every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, we do an overtime show directly after that for our patrons at patreon.com/LBHT show. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT show. And if you see what we're wearing here, Ring Kings Podcast, that is our other podcast that we do with our boy OTR Mike. We do that. We put out a show every Monday around 12 o'clock. We didn't have one today, but we're going to get some extra episodes for you guys throughout the week. So Ring Kings Podcast is where you can find us. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Ring Kings Pod.
All right, now I'm going to ask a question. I've purposely avoided. I don't know who won the Adesanya fight because I can't find it to watch. So now I'm going to officially let you guys tell me what happened quickly.
Okay. Real quick, Adesanya was outclassing him for most of the fight. Pereira's not real experienced in MMA. He's a kickboxer. He's outclassing him for most of the fight, but he was fighting cautious like he normally does. He almost knocked him out at the end of the first round, but the bell saved Pereira. And then fifth round, couple minutes left, Pereira caught Adesanya, wobbled him, and just started teeing off on him, and the ref stopped it. Pereira wins by knockout.
Yeah.
Oh, so both my dudes that went down.
There's a little controversy on that.
I'd be real upset, real afraid right now. The Africans are dropping.
Right.
Hey, listen, there's a little controversy. Who? Who's hurt?
The big
Ngannou. Yeah. Yeah, there's a little controversy with the stoppage. People think it's a little early. I think it was a little early too. I won't call it a bad stoppage, but it was a little early.
I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna see if I can find the highlights on YouTube when it's over with. I was trying to find the whole fight, like somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So now I'm just like, forget it. It's been a week now. Let's bring in our next guest, Hendo.
Oh, what's going on?
So hold on. I just noticed it. Normally, what's on Hendo's shirt is in the background. It's on his shirt now. So where can we get that? Let everybody know.
Yes. Listen, just go over to Ravens Online on Gatekeepers on my YouTube channel and look down below. The merch is in the descriptions. You know, this is a Jamar Laxon.
There you go.
Number 8. You can get that. I have some other things. If
Egyptian like cotton.
Egyptian like cotton.
There you go.
And I have some other designs there. If not, you can go to spreadshop.com, the Rogue Shop, and pick up some merch.
Got it. Next up, OTR Mike. What up, Mike?
What up, people? Look, man, Coach, you just asked about the Adesanya fight. We got a stream for you. If you go over to LBHT show, it's there, man. We broke the whole fight down. Just for those that's willing, that's looking for it, we got you. We got you over there.
Definitely gonna do that. Definitely. Last but not least, Chris, what up?
What's going on, Coach? Thanks for having me. And to what Mike said, I was up at like 2 a.m. watching those boys.
Hey, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody for that's hanging out with us at those 2 a.m. streams, man. Those are brutal, but
it was fun, man. It was fun. I had a lot of fun talking with you guys.
Appreciate it.
I think them late night streams are fun while they're going on. But the next morning you pay for them.
Yes.
Yes. The next morning you pay for them. So let's get right into it. We'll start with the quarterback as we always do. And because of my mind lapses last week, B, you gonna start first every time this week. I gotta admit I did you wrong last time. I was still in New Orleans.
I appreciate that, Coach, but you're gonna find I don't have a lot to say because I was sleeping through a lot of this game.
Lamar, you're gonna not have a lot to say first every time.
Look, I thought Lamar was fine. He obviously had a connection with DeMarcus this week, and I guess he can only pick one guy a week to have that connection with. But he ran a bit, he threw it a bit, but there wasn't a lot going on the offense out there. So I mean, I'd give him maybe a C+.
Jose?
Solid B+. That offense, it was dry. They weren't really trying to get things moving. He protected the ball pretty well, I would say. That one interception was just a good play, I would say. Great timing by the D tackle. Who was it? B? That was
Bravian Roy.
Bravian Ward. Yeah, Bravian Roy.
That was a great play by him.
It was. It was. But other than that, I thought he did a good job protecting the ball, taking what the defense gave him, and he gave him the one touchdown for the day. So I'll give him about a B+.
Chris?
Yeah, I thought Lamar was efficient. The drops definitely didn't help him. Drops, penalties, those definitely didn't help him. But I thought, he had a solid game, and like Jose said, he took what the defense gave him. There wasn't those big explosive over the top plays, or he just took the short easy stuff.
You do? Oh, because you cut that one off quick.
Yeah. That like B said, ain't much to talk about offensively in this game.
It's 13 points, so yeah, that sounds.
B? I mean, not B. Mike?
Yeah, I mean, we look alike. We are brothers, so we get that a lot. But listen, I'm just a disclaimer for everybody here. Look, the Thanksgiving festivities have already started at my house, so if you hear a little bit, I apologize. I got a background over here, but
I like Thanksgiving festivities.
Babe, I'm recording. So
hello.
Hey, respect the recording. So anyway, yeah, like everybody's saying, man, it wasn't much going on in this game. I think 8 did well managing the job. I'm managing the game, not making not too many mistakes. He had the one interception. I think in that play, if you watch it, I think he had Josh Oliver open where he could have hit him. But he did well. I mean, he finished. I'm not exactly sure what he finished with, but he was at one time he had like what he was like 22 or 26 or 28 or something like that. So he was doing well. But offensively as a whole, it was ugly, man. So he's a part of the offense. I know they say in the comments that we be capping for number 8. So B- for me. Give him a B-.
Gotcha. Hendo?
I give Lamar a B. Like you said, 3 incompletions, 5 drops. But for me, it was the actual completions to Demarcus Robinson. Some of those he dropped in a basket. Like some of those were some extremely nice throws. So I think he's kind of building that continuity with him. Mark Andrews came back, but he was not the focal point of the offense. And for me, that's great to see going forward. But I mean, it's 13 points. It's really not much to talk about.
All right. Mine, I'm just gonna pick it back off you guys. And mentally, for me, we didn't even score 13 points. We scored 6 because that touchdown should have been Marlins. And if it's not for that turnover, we don't get that touchdown. But to me, we really scored 6 points. That was a momentum touchdown that the defense created, which should have not even been an issue. Should have been not called, and then let the play go on, then review. But this ref screwed us up. But Booger's crew always screws us.
Yeah.
His crew always screws us. That's
he screwed y'all, or are you talking about when he blew the whistle and y'all kept playing and ripped the ball out of my man Shy's hands? And
yeah, they did blow the whistle.
I thought you didn't have a lot to say.
Well, I mean, turns out,
But that play did go on longer than most. So I give you that. There were a couple plays I saw yesterday when I watched it's a play somebody fumbled on. It wasn't our game, but the pile had been moved for a good 3 seconds, and then the ball just squirted out at the bottom from a running back. I don't know if it was the late game or what, but I saw it yesterday, and it was like all 22 We're in like a rugby skirmish. And then after the play, maybe 3 or 4 seconds, the ball comes out and they strip it from running back. And so I don't know why they holding the whistles like that. They're gonna get somebody hurt. That's what they're gonna do.
True.
Don't get somebody hurt by holding on to that. That play should have been blown dead.
I think that was Jonathan Taylor, that play.
Might have been. Let's go on to, let me read this super chat first. Marco G says, according to multiple sources, Drewski is still on the field yesterday, running in motion. I'm calling him Drewski until I decide not to no more. I was calling him 42. Now his name's Drewski.
He's still running. He's still running that wheel route too.
You know what? He did that at the beginning of the game. I missed that play.
You missed that play?
Yeah, because I was still trying to get my setups and stuff right. But I missed it. The chat box said it.
I will say it was a good play. It was a good design the way they drew it up. If it had been for another player, it'd have been excellent. But the ball just dropped right in his hands, and he didn't catch it.
Yeah. Wasn't it like the second or third play?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it might have been the first.
I'm gonna go check it out. I missed like the first 2 or 3 plays trying to get my stream set up. Let's go on to running backs. Move on to running backs. B. Hey, and at any point, if you want to mention something on your side too, the Carolina side, feel free to do so.
Okay. Yeah, that would be right now. But yeah, the Baltimore running backs. I mean, again, not much going on. You know, there was a play here, a play there, but you know, overall for the game, pretty poor performance. And granted, you know, Gus is out, JK's out, so I mean, you're talking about reserves. But I mean, Kenyon Drake, you know, he's been able to produce, you know, in games this season. I thought getting Justice Hill more involved would have been a good idea, but it didn't really go that way. And it just, you know, and Henzo said this right after the game. It just didn't look like they wanted to play. It looked like they weren't ready to play. They didn't want to be out there, and you know, they weren't really trying. In terms of Carolina's running backs, I would really like if everybody would stop saying that they need to re-sign Deonta Foreman, because he's a backup running back. He's done well, you know, in the starts that he had, but when they play good defenses, where does he go?
Right. Imagine this question. When I was doing my research before, I noticed that 3 out of the 4 games before he had 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 4 games, was there quality competition that he got 100 yards against, or were they just
not really? Because I believe one of them was Tampa, one was Atlanta, who's like the worst run defense in the league, and I forget who the third is. I know
Atlanta again, wasn't
Atlanta. They played
twice.
Yeah, twice.
That's true. And he got bottled up against Cincinnati. And it's just one of those things. Like the big point is like Carolina, they paid D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart at the same time, and that blew up in their face. Then they paid Christian McCaffrey. That kind of blew up in their face. And it's like, when are you going to learn your lesson? You know,
Let's go all the way back to Stephen Davis and Deshaun Foster.
Yeah, both.
They should have kept Mike Davis.
Listen, I don't know. No, I'm not taking that from you, Chris. Not when I saw you on Twitter talking about Bijan Robinson.
Oh yeah.
I didn't mention that.
Speaking of, did you see my reply to you, Chris?
I did, and I said, I didn't say they should draft him. I said putting him in the offense would be fun. That's all I said.
Did you say fun or fun?
Fun. One of the best prospects.
Scoring 13 points is fun.
Listen, I will defend Chris a little bit here, right? Like, if you're going to say you're a run first team and a defensive heavy team, lean into that. Get the best running backs that you can possibly get.
Well,
now for next year,
let's break it down. JK and Gus been hurt the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. They're also going to be free agents after next year. Mm-hmm. So, what we going to do at running back if they get hurt again? Justice Hill's going to be out too. And then you can, but I mean, are you going to get a first round wide receiver that's worth it at 25? I don't know.
You're not getting the first round wide receiver.
Not in this class. This class is
not in any class.
It's not
well.
strong.
Let me put it to you this way, Chris. You're going to get a wide receiver better than everybody on your roster at 25.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's going to be. That doesn't mean he's going to be good or impactful.
We can get that. We can get that in the second round.
But it means he's gonna. But it means you're gonna be improving.
I mean, slightly. If we're gonna improve, we got to improve like substantially, not just like 1 yard.
Because I would argue that Bijan Robinson doesn't make an impact in Baltimore either, with how good the run game already is.
But That's with Kenyon Drake. If you take Kenyon Drake and Bijan Robinson, that's a big difference right there. Bijan Robinson, he would probably be the best wide receiver on the Ravens right now. And I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking.
I
haven't
believe
watched
you.
Yeah.
I believe you.
I haven't seen him. I haven't
Damn
seen one
shame.
play
Yo,
of his yet. So.
he can run routes out of the slot like a wide
He can.
receiver. So I would make that argument that he can do that. And I mean, we talking about DeMarcus Robinson, so you know,
Is he more
props
like
to him.
like a
Props
like
to
a
him.
Curtis Samuel type of player?
Who Bijan?
Yeah.
Bijan's
like
he's a do it all. Like he could run through the tackles, he could run over you, outrun you, and then he could do all of that stuff out of the slot. And he makes catches like a wide receiver. Like you see him catch out the slot on slot fades, and you don't see running backs do that. Like
right.
He does some special stuff. Now, I say all of that, and I don't even know if I'm on board with a first round running back, to be honest. I'm just saying the thought of that player being in the offense is fun. Now, first round running back,
it's kind of like the thought of Roquan Smith being on the Ravens defense, but definitely not on board with that trade.
Not on board with $100 million contract.
Ooh, right. All right, let's go back. Running backs. Did you finish your point, B?
Yes.
Okay. Jose?
I'll be real quick. I'll give them a C. I think they did okay. Nothing special out there. I agree with B. I think Justice Hill should have gotten a few more carries. He looked like he was running harder than Kenyon Drake on yesterday. But other than that, a C.
What's up, Zeke?
What's up, Zeke?
Endo, you up?
I give him a C minus. Justice Hill, he can come, he can go. I just think for some reason Kenyon Drake, he gets better as the game goes along, because as you saw later in the game, he will break off longer and longer runs. Not really a fan of his, but I think he is doing the job that we need him to do right now until Gus gets back. If JK decides he's going to come back this year, but I mean, it is what it is. It's all predicated on Lamar. These running backs don't average half the yards that they average if Lamar's not in the lineup. They wouldn't do it with Tyler Huntley.
True. Mike?
Real quick to defend my man Chris, when I seen that tweet, I knew it was going to come up tonight. So I would just be happy with getting any offensive weapon for Lamar Jackson, and if that's what it takes, I'd be happy with that. So I'm on board with you there. But as far as the running backs as a whole, Hendo, you just stole my point. I mean, Drake, towards the end of the game, he made the runs that we needed him to make. As a whole, the group was lackluster. I mean, Carolina coming into the game, we've been saying this all weekend. No disrespect to B, but Carolina coming into the game, has one of the worst run defenses in the league. So I was expecting us to get off on them, and we didn't. So because of that, I'm with you guys. C minus, D, in my opinion.
Chris?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of what I saw from the running backs, and we could parlay that into another group that helps the running backs later on. But I didn't really like what I saw from them. It didn't seem like there was any burst or really any space for them to operate, and it was like, Carolina was just smothering them, and it was like they had the old Tampa Bay defense, like the way that the Ravens couldn't even run the ball. Like there was just no space for them early on, other than the fourth quarter stuff, and you start seeing Drake pop off some runs, but it wasn't really a notable game for the running backs.
And with that being said, I'll just parlay right into the group. I assume you're talking about the O-line. So as far as the O-line, we'll start with you. You go ahead and talk about the O-line.
Yeah, I mean, I was really disappointed with their run blocking. I thought their pass blocking was better outside of one dumbass play, but I thought their run blocking was atrocious from what I saw from the live game. There was no room for the running backs to operate. It was like they were getting collapsed on like almost every run play, it seemed like, and barely getting any space or opening any holes for the running backs. And I like the Carolina defense. Like they have talented individual players that I like on there, but there's no reason why they should have gotten, the offensive line should have been smothered like that. and I thought they would have imposed their will a bit more, but we didn't see that. And hats off to Carolina because they played their asses off on defense.
Mike?
Yeah, man, I agree with Chris. I've been telling B all weekend, man, that listen, we talking about 13 points and everybody's focusing on the Ravens only scoring those 13 points. But man, my head is off to Carolina. I think that defense, I think they play hard as a team. They are lacking obviously in certain positions. Obviously, the quarterback position is something. I mean, I think my man PJ Skywalker would have gave them a better chance to beat us. But to the O line, man, the O line just to me, I Chris said it all, man. Like, they were faster than us. They were more physical than us. I don't know, man. I was blown away by the lack of push that we got up front, man. I thought we were going to be able to dominate those guys, and we didn't. So again, I think that's a salute to them. I think they played well. I feel like the entire team was still on vacation. They looked like a team that had a few days off. You know how it is when you have a few days off, and that first day you go to work, you just like, man, I wish I can extend this vacation.
I ain't doing nothing today.
Especially when it's cold.
Right, and it was super cold. So they just look like that as a whole. Every facet of the team looked like that. So yeah, man, the O-line, man, I give them. Hey man, look, let's give him a C-, especially with Ronnie going down and as a friendly fire type situation. We got to put that on them too. So that's a C- for me.
Speaking of friendly fire, Hendo, you next.
You see what's behind them? What's behind you right there?
Oh, you talking about
segue.
Morgan Moses?
Man, I threw the alley-oop. And you
I thought you were directing that at me. You know how you throw subliminal shots at me, Coach.
No, I was throwing you the alley-oop.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
and I'm walking off like Dwayne Wade. You supposed to be
supposed to be LeBron and just come back with that thing. I'm sorry, Coach. I fumbled the ball. But listen, offensive line. I got a phone call earlier today, and they said, "Hey, we gave you what you wanted," and hung up. And I had to think about it for a minute, and I was like, "Oh, they did." Finally, the offensive line was in sync. The run blocking and the pass blocking was the same. Terrible. They finally put a game together where they were both on the same page. They said, you asked for it, gave it to you. And they gave it to me all right. Because listen, I mean, not even just this game. Like the run blocking, they opened up no lanes for the running backs. But pass blocking for me, a disturbing trend for me is even on that interception. It's like a lot of Lamar's balls are getting batted because these offensive linemen don't have their hands on people. Pause. They don't have their hands on people. They're just standing in front of these defenders looking at them like, well, which way you gonna go? And that's why some of them are able to knock the ball down, get these interceptions because they're not engaged. So listen, I don't know how PFF or these Ravens fans think that we have this top 5 offensive line because it's nowhere close to it.
Whew. Jose?
Yeah, I was gonna pick up where he left off, man. Morgan Moses every week is just he's standing out in an awful way. And I saw somebody said that calling him was BS. Like, you talking about the face mask? That was not a bad call. He grabbed his face mask.
So. I didn't think he did, but I only saw it one time. I thought it was a bad call, but
and like it's just, man, he's always at the scene of the crime. It's always Morgan Moses that's at the scene of the crime, right?
So if you play Clue with Morgan Moses, pick him every time.
Yes. I'm putting him in the study room with the
candelabra,
illegal procedure, man downfield.
I was mad at the moment. It wasn't his fault that play where Ryan Stanley got hurt. Right. I'm not sure what that scheme was, but there was nobody there to at least chip. Was it Brian Burns? Brian Burns got in on that sack. He just roamed free. I understand Morgan Moses has to take the inside guy, but again, I just don't like the fact that Morgan Moses was in the area when it happened. But yeah, again, it's a lot of it's beyond the not opening up holes, beyond the spotty pass protection. The pre-snap penalties once again just reared their ugly head. So much so that Lamar Jackson is punting the ball. Right, because he's so sick of the false starts. He's so sick of the delay of games. Right, like that comes from not just this year, years of frustration. They've been bad at it. When are they going to be able to get the ball out on time? Even in a home crowd, they can't get it right. So, I mean, no, I'm gonna give them a D+, and it's not all on them because this has been a chronic issue for them. It goes well beyond them. We'll talk about that group who's responsible for that later.
I agree. B.
Yeah, I mean F-. I mean, they weren't very good in the past game. They, like y'all said, they were bad at run blocking as well. Like Jose mentioned, the pre-snap penalties. Also, Brian Burns might have ended y'all season with that sack into Ronnie's ankle. So it was just bad all the way around. There wasn't a lot of good there. I think it's time to show Moses the bench and get Falele in there and see what he can do.
What I will say is I do understand now why you guys didn't take those first 2 picks that I think the Rams or whoever offered for Burns.
I don't understand. It was 2 firsts and a second. I mean, yeah, Olway could have got that sack.
But I'm saying
nobody touched him.
I'm saying, but with the player as he is, you know what you got now. You don't know what you're gonna get with those picks.
I'll tell you what. I don't care what we got right now. They need a quarterback. They need to fix their O-line, and they need some more help on offense. Brian Burns ain't winning them no games, as we just saw.
I think if you take the defense you got now, and all season you improve offensively, you got a chance to make your team better because your defense not bad.
No, it's not.
The defense not bad at all.
I mean, it's not good.
You did have some guys out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, they do, but they don't have a lot of depth. They have, like Chris said, they have a few good individual players. They got Derek Brown, they got Brian Burns, they got Jeremy Chin. Frankie Lou was having a great season. But I don't. They're not the kind of defense like we're talking about in Baltimore, where you've got solid players all the way around. You've got depth, in most positions and everything. No, definitely not
got
that.
His first sack.
All I'm saying is 2 firsts and a second. There aren't many players in the league, period, who are worth turning that down.
That is true.
True that.
And I don't think any of them play edge.
True. O-line for me, and I'm in kind of the same boat with Jose. I think it's a combination of them plus another group that we'll talk about later. But for us, y'all saw the thumbnail. If you didn't, go check the thumbnail out. For us to have that many rushing yards in a row and to look like that after coming off a week off, that's horrible. That was horrible. So I mean, I rarely say a grade, but they got a 59.4.
Hey, Coach, we had like 10 days off, Coach. It's more than a week.
They got a 59.4. And when you get 0.4, you round down. So you got an F. I was not pleased with the run game at all. You take that one long run away from Drake. And when I talk about the run game, I don't count Lamar runs. I count running back runs or jet sweeps, stuff like that, because Lamar gonna get his regardless. Like we even got in a short yardage situation, and one of the plays I drew up on the board in my talks, we ran the exact same play, got a first down. It was 3rd and 2. We ran a jet sweep with Duvernay, and it was power read. And I threw four plays on the board off the top of my head, and we ended up running one up. So if I do football part time and Roman does football full time, what that say?
Does he?
Well, good point. Good point.
When the game is over, he goes home.
He go with us. What's his name? They be calling him out the
Trippy.
game.
Oh,
Him and Trippy gonna have 2 beers.
That's his best friend.
Greg.
that's a good man.
Yo, Greg.
Hey, yo, Greg. Yo, Bob. Hey, it's it's not the first 48. It's a full 60. All right, let's go on to wide receivers. B, wide receivers.
A for DeMarcus Robinson. F for everybody else.
No. This is wide receivers. We don't agree collectively.
A for DeMarcus Robinson and F for everybody else. No, and I'll give Duvernay an F+ because he did get the only other wide receiver reception. But if we want to give it a group grade, Antoine.
Wow.
I'll say we go with a C-. DeMarcus played really well. He had his best game of his career, I believe.
Yeah.
The rest of the guys were absent, and then Prochet needing absolutely needing to keep that stat alive where he has more penalties than catches.
Wait, hold on. Are we including tight ends in this group or
Yes.
just wide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Normally we do tight ends.
Normally we do.
Okay, so if we're gonna include tight ends, we'll bump it up to a C+ for Mark for his contribution. But Prochet with that hold on the Lamar run, that drags him down a
but
bit.
it still was called.
No, it wasn't. No, he was definitely holding him. It was unnecessary.
he was holding.
It was unnecessary, but
that's called wide receiver physicality.
I get that.
But yeah, didn't really
You don't
like
know when to
much
turn
of
it
what
off,
I saw from Likely.
Yeah.
Didn't really see anything else from any of the other wide receivers. I mean, they only had a few of them active, right? So it wasn't much to say with this group outside of DeMarcus.
And I'm gonna go ahead and throw mine out there. B, I wasn't gonna tell you to change. I'm exactly with you. A for DeMarcus, F for the rest of them.
Yeah,
I'm with you 100%. Like this is what I am with the offense, because I'm so we get to the defense, but I'm so fed up with the balance of talent that I don't care what the offense do.
Yeah,
you give me one touchdown, we better freaking win. But we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Jose?
Coach has come to the dark side. Listen, look, I agree, man. Like I'm gonna give Demarcus Robinson his props, man. I thought he did an excellent job. I love the 2 toe tap catches that he had to stay in bounds and make those catches. Great. I mean, he had another play where he almost took it to the house, right? It was a big play on a slant. He really stepped up, and the only problem is I don't think he'll be consistent moving forward with that. I think that's been his issue in Kansas City and I guess training camp for the Raiders. He didn't last past the training camp, but I mean, look, for that one game, great job. Everybody else, man. No, not that many opportunities. Again, we're going to tie that to another group here pretty soon.
See ya.
But
hold on, Zay. Come on, Jeff. Stay around, man. We just started. Stay around.
we were so bad that we sent them to Mexico. We said, I gotta go somewhere where I can't find you on YouTube. Hey, man. Thanks for watching.
No habla español, Jeff.
I hope you didn't watch that game thinking we were gonna big up the offense.
I'm not like how you gonna say we Debbie Downs before we get to the good side of the ball.
Right. we technically on the side of the ball that scored 6 points. Technically.
Yes. Yeah. So no, there's not a lot to say there. I will say this. I hear the haters out there saying that James Prochet dropped a pass. And I know that's not possible because James Prochet has the best hands in the world. He didn't drop the pass. The ball just decided to escape from his hands somehow. He didn't drop it. Okay. And I just want you guys to know, speaking of Prochet, because we were called haters. We were called Prochet haters before this season started.
Pull it out.
Where is your Channel 3 hoodie, haters? Okay, Channel 3 hoodies. Okay, you guys don't support Prochet. Y'all don't love Prochet like I love Prochet. Okay,
they full Prochet supporters.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see overall, and that's thanks to DeMarcus Robinson. They were awful.
Hendo.
Yeah, I have to agree with Jose. I give him I give him a C+ because of DeMarcus Robinson and Mark Andrews coming back from injury. 6 catches, 63 yards. He did what he could. But it's for the rest of them. Isaiah saved this with receiving core, likely another drop. Like the consistency's not there. But Jose always says he's a 4th-round rookie. What do you expect from him? Shouldn't expect much, but I should expect much from Devin Duvernay because somebody told me this man was the 2nd best pick that EDC ever had. Yeah, if it's not a gadget play, Duvernay ain't really doing much. Like you can't just line him up out wide or in the slot and have him make plays. Tylan Wallace, I think he just played special teams because I do not think I still saw him line up in the game. And Mr. Prochet, I've been trying to ride for him. I've been campaigning for him since he got here. But he got his opportunity. He dropped the ball. He continues to have penalties every game. And to me, when they replay the penalties, he has a chip on his shoulder. Like, one of them wide receivers. It's like, who you think you talking to? Like, you can't touch me. He has that attitude. And I'm like, nah, bruh. They know who they talk to.
He's the little dog following the big dog on the cartoon.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So, as far as the receiving core, this just ain't it. But everybody told us during the offseason, we'll be fine. And we're seeing the fruits of those labors.
Yeah. Mike?
What I said, Hendo, was
I didn't even say you.
At that point that we had that discussion, Duvernay was play. I said he was the second. He was number 2 in the MVP race for the Ravens on the Ravens team as MVP. The way he was playing, what we're seeing now is him being the focal point of a defense. Right, they could take him away easily. He needs somebody else around him to take eyes off of him, and then he could be effective. But we're on the same side of this, right? He is a 3, maybe 4 on a team that has a solid wide receiver group. He's expected to be our 1 right now because our 1 is out, right? So, but I digress. As a whole, like it's nothing much to say about the offense as a whole, man. Like it's hard to find anything. DeMarcus Robinson was the bright spot of this game. He played well. Those catches he made with the toe taps, impressive, right? Those were some pro catches, man. And so we got to point that out. Mark Andrews had a solid game, his first game back. So to expect anything more than what he gave, I tread lightly with that because he's just coming off an injury, right? And we don't know if he's still hurt or not.
Right.
But as a whole, man, those two groups combined, there's no group on the offense that deserves more than a C. I gave Lamar a B- because I feel like he managed the game well. But as a whole, that offense just did not click at all. And I know my man Jeff, he might have pieced out on us. That's cool, man. We appreciate you checking in. You'll be back next week. But it's just the truth, man. That's what we doing. A couple weeks ago, y'all telling us that we be capping for the offense, right? We make excuses. So then when we being honest, now we Debbie Downers, yo. It's just the facts. 13 points against that defense. No disrespect to my brother B, right?
No disrespect.
We should have had a better output than that, and we didn't. So that's where this is coming from.
Hey, Mike, how many point favorites were we in this game?
13 and a half.
That's crazy.
13 and a half. That's saying y'all gonna come in here and get blown out. So don't even get off the bus. That's what that's telling the other team.
I never even take them bets. Like if I'm deciding to bet on a games with spreads like that, I keep them pushing. Keep them pushing.
I'll tell you what, man, you keep saying no disrespect and y'all keep laughing. It's funny. But I'll say this. Y'all look like you just played a team exactly as good as you.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. Us saying no disrespect.
No, but that's true.
Yeah, me saying no disrespect to you is with all due respect because that's your squad, right? But you know what I'm saying? I've given them their props. They played hard, man. They look like a team, exactly like you just said, that could play with us on any given Sunday. I never felt threatened, right? That the Ravens will lose this game. It wasn't one of those games where I'm nervous.
You weren't feeling like when it was 6-6 and Baker strolled on the field. You weren't no nerves.
I didn't feel those nerves that I felt when Tua and when Josh Allen was here. I didn't feel those same nerves.
But that's the difference, right? The quarterback.
Yeah. But yo, like I said, I tip my hat to the Panthers, man. They played hard, man, and they were totally disrespected by that spread alone, 13 and a half. Like they came in and was like, man, look, y'all dudes ain't that.
Right.
And we showed them, we played down to, no disrespect, B. We played down to their level.
I swear, man, there's some Ravens fans out here who really believe that Lamar is just playing favorites and just decides that certain wide receivers don't deserve the ball. Devin Duvernay doesn't get targets because Devin Duvernay doesn't deserve more targets. The same thing with James Prochet.
Yeah, you think he's overlooking Duvernay? It's like, nah, DeMarcus is my guy.
Right.
right?
DeMarcus.
Or is DeMarcus the one that's getting open?
But they said Duvernay was out there getting open. They synced it.
Oh, okay. Well,
We'll
I
see.
mean,
we'll see.
we'll
see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Chris.
It's like, come on. What do you want me to say? Come on.
I mean, other than DeMarcus Robinson, I mean, and Mark Andrews is not much to say. I mean, this is what it's going to be like. They're not going to get Duvernay involved. They've been saying it for weeks. Like, we know we got to do a better job of getting Devin Duvernay involved. We know we got to do a better job, and still not happening on a consistent basis.
Right.
And to me, it's like, this is year 3 of Devin Duvernay, and you still don't know how to use him. Like, come on now. And he's going to go to a different team that's going to utilize him, and all the fans are going to say, damn, why didn't we do that? And it's like
with Judon and Zedarius.
Don't do that. Don't do that, coach. That still hurts. Don't do that.
So
it hurt so much. It hurt so much making that. I made a video of Judon for the other channel, and it hurt so much just
I watched it.
Seeing the stuff that he did or the stuff that he doing. Like, he got a sack yesterday off the same move that I highlighted. That little stunt. Because he's so smooth with it. He come right at him, and at the next minute, it's like he jump cut off the pick. Basically, him and that guy run the pick and roll damn near like Malone and Stockton. And
he got more sacks right now than he did last year.
He got what, 12 and a half?
13 sacks.
In the NFL.
He got 2 yesterday.
1.5. He got 1.5 yesterday.
Crazy. So this is what I want to do for everybody up here and the people in the chat box. And while we go around and give our answer, people in the chat box, you type your answer in there too. One word, only one, to sum up the offense this week. B, you go first. One word.
Absent.
Fair. Jose?
Undisciplined. Undisciplined.
Okay. That's fair. Hendo?
Horrible.
That sounds like 3 words.
No, horrible.
I know I'm messing with you.
Horrible.
Mike?
Disastrous.
Disastrous. That's a good one. Chris?
Doo-doo.
Facts.
My one word is putrid.
Yeah.
That was not. Do y'all know the first half was over with in like
5 minutes?
It seemed like 5 minutes, but like 45 minutes to 55 minutes.
Yeah.
When we woke up, we did.
Right. That was tough.
That was
tough. All right, let's move over to the defensive side, and we'll start with what we normally start with. Interior. Start with the D line. The interior guys. B.
Yeah, I thought they had a good game. I thought, Broderick Washington continuing to make plays. He batted down that pass that was eventually intercepted by JPP. Obviously, we talked about them bottling up Deonta Foreman. And I mean Chuba for whatever snaps he was out there as well. But yeah, they made the O-line look like what they are right now, an O-line in development. What's up?
We appreciate you, Jeff. J. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you, bro.
Hey, Jeff got to Mexico and be like, oh, I don't necessarily like it over here.
But yeah, like I said, I thought overall they played well. I would give them maybe a B-.
Gotcha. Jose?
I'll give them an A. I think they did well. Yes, we're playing a not so great team. The O-line, I do think their O-line is overall better than ours right now. But look, even against the bad teams, you gotta go out there and perform, and that's what they did. The offense gave us nothing, and they said, "Fine, we'll work with what we have." Calais Campbell had another sack. Broderick Washington, that good bat down the line. They didn't let them get anything going really in the run game, and they apply constant pressure on Baker. So I'll give them an A.
Big Red, you wrong for that, bro.
I'm not gonna laugh.
Let's let that sit in for a minute. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought they played really well. It seems like that group is playing real cohesive right now and unselfish. You know, they're playing. They're not playing to get stats. You know, they're playing to help one another, and you see that when you see Brent Urban, where he's sacrificing his numbers or whatever, you know, like getting the sack in order to take away a blocker to free up Calais Campbell or something like that, you know. And you saw that last game, not last week, with PQ, where PQ freed up Justin Houston for him to get sacked.
Yep.
And I think once you see that start happening on the defensive line, that's when you really see things start to pick up on the defensive side of the ball. And that's what we've been seeing for the last few weeks. So I thought they played well, you know, just, you know, from the Calais Campbells, who everybody knows his name, to the Broderick Washingtons, who people might not know his name. I think they're all playing as a collective unit right now.
D-line wise, Mike, I'm gonna save mine for the end.
Okay, quick, 2 things. Cyrus, man, put your grade in the chat, man. Let us know what your grade is. Right,
his grade is troll. He's just here to
we're
troll.
not
He ain't got
calling it's cool. Now I just want to hear. I like people's opinions, and you know, so let us know what your grade is, right? And then to Marcel Allen, he is 100% correct. It's only 36 likes in him, man. Hit that like button.
Yes.
But look, I think what we're seeing is what we spoke on in earlier episodes of this roundtable, is that we're finally seeing a solid rotation, right? Which is freeing up Calais to not be on the field 100% of the time. And we're seeing a rejuvenated Calais. Matabike is playing well. Broderick played well. To your point, Chris, and I'm glad you brought up his name because I seen him out there a lot. Brett Urban playing solid, right? Those are the guys that are doing things that you might not see on the stat sheet, but are making sacrifices out there for their teammates. So I think I'm with you, Zay. I think the D line, man, I give the interior guys, I give them an A. I think they played well, man. They Freeman was balling up until this game, and they bottled him up. So they did their job. So let's hope they stay healthy, keep that rotation going, man. Foreman, I'm sorry. And keeping these guys fresh. Even Travis Jones, the young guy, getting in there, man. And so I like what I'm seeing from that D line and finally seeing them healthy, seeing that rotation. Calais ain't got to be out there as much. And we seen it, man. Calais to me, he out there, he looking like a young man right now. So so I like that, and we can keep him fresh going forward. So I give him an A.
All right. Hendo?
Yeah, you know, how can you go against it? They get an A. Broderick Washington, unsung hero, just not for this game, for the season. Like, he's been doing the dirty work on the inside. Calais has been getting all the glory, but that's because he's been playing a lot better with decreased snaps. Now, defensive line played so well. I'm going to give them an A, but they played so well, they made Bradley Bozeman false start himself. How do you make a center false start himself? That's how well they were playing. So, yeah, I'm going to give them guys an A.
As mine is, I just like the rotation. Like, as a collective whole, they get an A because the other guys are playing well enough that Calais don't have to play all them snaps, and he looks extremely fresh, which I like. A fresh Calais is good for the defense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the edge guys. Now, so we're gonna separate linebackers. We're gonna go outside linebackers, edge guys. Then we'll come back with inside linebackers. Let's go to the OLBs. B.
You know, again, I thought the group played well. I thought Justin Houston, he came back. He had another half sack they gave him.
Yeah.
JPP, out there making plays. He had himself an interception. He got a couple tackles for loss. I mean, I have to drag him down a little bit for Oweh, right? Like, you can't pretend that he's not part of the group. But I thought overall, they played well. My thing with the defense is, and I said this on our show, I said this on Hendo's show, I don't want to give you too much credit for shutting down a Baker Mayfield-led offense that's throwing the ball sideways all day. They did what they had to do. They played well. They shut down what is one of probably actually not one of, but the worst offense in the league when Baker Mayfield is out there. But again, I'll give the outside linebackers a solid B.
Okay, Jose.
I'm gonna give him an A. Listen, sometimes you get an easy test and you even get the answers to that easy test. All right. So, you still get an A, right? I thought they did a good job. They, like I said, they apply pressure. Owe, yes, we know what it is with him. It's a running joke, but his snap count is going down. I think he played 40% of the snaps.
I think I saw a stat that the first 1 through 6 he played 80-some%. 4 through 7 he played 60-some%, and then his last game he played 40.
Yeah. Now, me, B, and Mikey were watching that game together, and we were debating whether or not we actually saw him on the field, because I'm not sure if he played in the first half, because I was just like, nah, I didn't see him.
I saw him do a spin move on somebody, and as soon as he finished spinning, he was right in the same spot he started.
It's disappointing with Owe, man. It is, but you know what? Look, it is what it is. We wasted the pick. Whether he improves or not, that it doesn't matter. They didn't let that slow them down. We have a good unit here, and they perform well. Now we gotta see them do this consistently, but they performed well yesterday. I'll give them an A.
Good. Hendo?
Yeah, what else can you say? They get an A. JPP out there intercepting the ball, putting pressure on. Houston, he infuriates me sometimes because he will get there for the sack and he'll have his hands on somebody and let it slip through his fingers. He could lose to today. That's today. He could lead the league in sacks, honestly, but for his age, he's doing his thing. I mean, I can't take anything away from him, but of course, there is one guy missing. That first round pick, that first round talent, that 4.3 speed. Aside from that, they get an A. I mean, but level of competition, but once again, you can only play who's in front of you.
Right.
So I'm grading them for what they did. A. Yeah, they get an A. I'll leave it at that.
Mike?
Where's Yolanda be at? Because Yolanda is gonna feel what I'm about to say. Okay. Yolanda, back me on this.
What? Don't do it.
Owe is so menacing that he forced the young left tackle to false start just by lining up on that side. Give that man credit where credit is due. It's the small things. It's the small things. Look, B, Jose, and myself were watching the game together, and I kept saying to them, yo, where's 99? Where's 99? And then we finally saw him a couple of times. Seeing the snap count today, I don't feel like I've seen him 40% of the time. But hey, I'm not the person that counts the snaps. But again, it goes to the rotation, man. We spoke of this again here with this group as well. Bowser looked good, man, setting the edge. He seems to be rounded into shape. JPP played a lot. Houston, again, another older guy that's looking like a young guy again. He didn't get a sack, but he seemed to be getting there pretty consistently. It's only up from here. Now they got to find a way to get Owe involved, or he got to find a way to get himself involved. And hopefully seeing these guys in front of him that's playing, that's out snapping him, maybe this will wake him up. I see a lot of people in the chat asking about Ojabo like that. I feel like honestly it's a good problem to have, right? When you got too much talent there that look, I'd rather take that and try to find places in time to get these people in versus not having enough. So I feel like this is a situation that can make or break Owe, right? Not for his career, but for this season to get him fired up to say, all right, look, man, if I want to be on the field, I need to make some plays while I'm out there. And even maybe they can get creative, man. Maybe they can put him on the outside of that inside 3, and maybe he can show some work there. I don't know. I think it looked like they may have done that a time or two. I could be wrong, Coach.
They did it last year a lot.
Yeah, and I know you're gonna break it down. And like I told you Well, I was watching you live last week. You're a bad MFer when you breaking down that film, so I know you're gonna show it.
Appreciate
But it's a good problem. So I wouldn't take that as a bad thing. His snap counts is going down. That means somebody else is playing better, but that means that rotation is that rotation is just that much better right now, and that's a good thing going forward as we move forward and we're deeper. People are fresh, and hopefully he makes some plays, man. But it looks like he's gonna have to start showing before he gets on the field more. And it looks like because these guys is ready. The guys in front of him are ready. And shout out to JPP with the interception. No matter what Big Red said, he caught it. He caught it.
Horrible.
So that's impressive. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I give him an A, man.
I got a question, Mike.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, a question, Mike. You said it's good. It's a good thing that our first round talent is getting decreased. I mean, our first round pick is getting decreased snaps.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't. What I should say, I wouldn't panic. I wouldn't panic right now because we got some guys right now that that rotation, man.
I'm just picking with you, Mike.
No, I know, but it's adding competition to the group, and again, I think it's a good thing, right? I think this is either going to light a fire under his, or he might fold, but we'll see what he got going forward because there's some guys in front of him that's ready to ball. And he got to show that he's ready to do that too.
Hey, shout out to Brandon for hitting the cash out. He sent a message say Dub Deuce. Appreciate you, P. Chris, go ahead with your interpretation of the outside linebacker / edge guys.
Yeah, man, it's good to see us have 4 guys who can play, and because just a few weeks ago we had like 1.5 outside linebackers, so it's good to see now that we got 4 dudes who are getting substantial snaps, and then hopefully you got Ojabo coming this week, next week, whenever it is. So like Mike was saying, those are good problems to have, and I thought in this game, they played well. The old guys, JPP, Justin Houston, I thought they played well. Tyus Bowser did his thing where there was one drive where he just took over, like he was impactful on every play. It was a 3 and out later on in the game. And
set the edge on the play, then cover the dude in the flats.
Yep, and stuff like that is where you can have dudes who can do multiple things, not just rush the passer, but also be able to drop back and be impactful on third down and get the Ravens off the field. I think when you have dudes like that who can be interchangeable and do different things, it gives you so much flexibility as far as the packages that you create, especially on third downs. So it's exciting to see, and hopefully they could keep building on this.
True. Now I left that question up there, and I'm gonna leave it up there for Chris and Hendo. Where does Ojabo fit when he gets active?
I think he's going to be. Oh, go ahead, Hendo.
No, you go. Yeah.
I think early on, I think it's going to be like a situational third down type of role where you just have him come in, pin his ears back, not let him have a whole bunch of responsibility early on, just to get his feet wet and just let him rush the passer, do what he does.
Hendo?
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. He fits in his uniform. I mean, hey, listen, I just think my thing is I just think everybody needs to temper expectations. You have a rookie coming off a serious injury that was in this calendar year.
8 months.
Yes.
This calendar year, and they expect him to come in here and be this superstar. Like Chris said, let's just get him in on third down, pin his ears back, and just see what he can do. He has to get acclimated to the speed of the game. Yeah. All he's been doing is some walkthroughs, some practices. He actually hasn't been in a game in a while. So
y'all know we don't practice for real once the season start off.
Right. So just give him time. I just think for the rest of the year, just give him some situations, put him in some run packages, let him blitz a little bit, but don't do too much because he could re-injure himself.
Yep.
Especially with this team, our training staff go slow with him, and I think that's what they're doing because I think he could have played this game, but they just decided to hold him out. So just just go slow. Let him do a couple things and just get acclimated to being a professional and not a college student. I mean, a college player.
I wouldn't even put him in until it's like a garbage time situation, and it's like third and long, just to ease him in. I don't want none of his first snaps to be of any significant, importance. Let it be like that like if they going for a Hail Mary at the end of the half, let him rush the edge then, or if we finally blow somebody out or get blowed out, put him in and let him get some reps then. But as far as meaningful snaps, I'll have no. If he get us one tackle, one sack, one play, it's a bonus to me. I don't expect nothing from him.
Coach, we're not getting blown out.
No, I was just saying.
To the playoffs.
I want to cover my whole bases. That's all.
To the playoffs.
Whoa. All right, let's go interior guys. B.
I would say with Roquan and Pat, you're getting an A out of those guys. You're getting exactly what you expected out of Roquan. Pat, like OTR Mike said, okay, he's been playing well and he's ascending. So you gotta give Mike the credit for that. Not so much Queen himself, but no, he had a great game. And I thought, like Chris was saying with the D line and the edge guys, everybody's playing together, and that's allowing Roquan and Pat to just fly around the field and make plays everywhere. A plus for those guys. I do want to also say, y'all are talking about, you can only grade what's in front of you. That ain't true. You know how difficult the assignments are, and you can grade on a curve. All right, when you finish a major project at work, or when you turn in a routine report at the end of the week, you don't get the same praise. Okay, so when you beat Carolina, you don't get the same praise as shutting down Buffalo.
We're not talking about praise. We're talking about grades, though.
Yeah, same thing. It's just a different,
easy test, hard
form.
Test. If you ace it, you ace it.
Hey. You took the class last year. Took it again.
But this is exactly the problem, and this is exactly why y'all gonna get embarrassed come January, February again, because y'all ain't in school. Okay,
but,
y'all are professionals now. Start acting like it.
And now that you I meant to say this earlier. Like people talk about our negativity or our hate, but if I don't speak for you, correct me. We're projecting to the playoffs. We want what will work in the playoffs, not what's going to work versus all these teams that's under 500, except for the Bengals we play. We obviously want to win the games, but we want to be clicking on all cylinders and playoff time come, because that's what the regular season matters, but that's what we all want. Even the people. Did you see that
Kansas City game yesterday? I want us to be able to stop that guy. That's the real number one tight end in the league.
Right.
He went nuts.
I don't think anybody here believes that Demarcus Robinson is going for 9 and over 100 yards against a playoff defense, right? Like,
your boy in the comment, Horace, he got off the Prochet hype train because he was the biggest fanboy of Prochet, his former roommate. Now all of a sudden I don't hear him talk about Prochet anymore in the comments. He's on to Demarcus Robinson and anybody not named Prochet. I don't know what happened, Horace. You don't believe in your man anymore?
Horace, we gonna stick together, Horse. We're not talking about Prochet. We gonna find another train to ride.
Where's your sweaters? Where's your sweater, haters? Where's your hoodie?
B, are you finished? I don't want to jump off.
I'm sorry. I just read the comment.
The comment.
If he was being my personal no live, it's getting real disrespectful, Big Reg. All right, we don't need to be like that.
What he do now? Oh man.
No.
Yeah. Man.
A plus for the inside linebackers.
Chris.
Yeah, man. I thought they played really well, and I didn't think it was going to happen this fast, where they were just going to click, but. We're seeing it in real time. And when's the last time we saw 2 inside linebackers play 100% of the snaps for the Ravens?
Yes.
And that's what happened yesterday. So, it was great to see. And it's crazy how much they complement each other and the rise that you've seen in PQ's game since it happened. Like, you see him playing faster, you see him playing smarter now. And he's just all over the place. Yeah, and it's been fun to watch and see it develop. I know I was a little bit hesitant on the Roquan trade, and you still got to play those high-powered offenses, because right now it's just been the Saints and the Panthers, but you still got to go up against KC to win. You got to go up against the Bills to win. So, and the Dolphins too with the high-powered offense. But so far we're seeing, the potential that this duo has.
You good, Jose?
Yeah, A+. Roquan wasn't a fan of the trade for obvious reasons, but look, man, he is as advertised. I never doubted that part of it, but a bonus to it is that he's bringing that energy to the whole team. They were not tackling like this before he got there. That's the team as a whole, right? They weren't, they weren't rushing to the ball, attacking the ball the way they're doing it now, and that there's an immediate impact on Patrick Queen's play. He played much better. Like Chris said, he's thinking less. They're communicating better. Yeah, those two. I just hope they can keep this up. I really don't think there's any reason to not believe that they can't. So yeah, A+ in this game, and I expect that every game from them.
Mike,
give it up for my man PQ, who has been on about a 4-week streak of consistent play, no mistakes. Roquan is only going to make him better, and it's showing already, as you guys have already said. Man, A++ for me. That group is PQ is like, man, watching him yesterday was just like, okay, this is what we want to see. He's using his speed at the right times. Look, man, shout out to him. We asked for consistency. We're getting it. I'm with you, Zay. I don't see why it would stop. I think this is a good duo that we have. So yeah, man, they bought out. Roquan is Roquan, man. You can see Roquan's leadership out there already, man. The man been here for a few weeks. I seen him out there directing already, as if he'd been here for years. So that's a good sign to see as well. But man, I am so happy to see PQ pricing himself out of here, because I know we ain't gonna. I know how that goes. Even though it is EDC's pick, so he might pay his guy. But man, I'm loving what we've seen. This has been that inside spot has been a weakness, a concern for me. We go back, it's been a concern for a lot of us if you watch our older videos.
Yeah,
and I think they shored that up plus some. So kudos to that group, man.
Hendo.
Inside linebackers, they get an A+. Listen, Roquan Smith, I was always a fan of it. I knew he could play, especially seeing him down in Georgia. Like, the man is a beast, but I gotta hit y'all with the Drewski meme. It's with the Patrick Queen, doing his thing. Listen, he's the player. He was the defensive player of the game. 9 tackles, 3 assists, a sack, and like Mike said, he's been very consistent. I've always said he has the physical talents, but now he's bringing the mental aspect of the game into it as well. As long as he can continue on his trajectory, we should be good on the defensive side of the ball, because we need those guys flying around. But I'm grading on the curve. No disrespect, B, but it was the Panthers. No disrespect.
You say it sounds like disrespect when you say it, though.
It's okay because it's still an A. Because
I'm just playing.
It's because it's also Patrick Queen.
No, I'm just playing.
Right?
No, they get
a curve on both ends.
No, B. They get an A+, not an A, an A+.
My bad.
Well, y'all know how I feel about Queen, and the fact that he's starting to show up with Roquan there. I think iron is really sharpening iron. He's he could have bitched out and been a weaker or lesser man about it, but he accepted the role that they brought in somebody that potentially may take his spot, maybe take the money that he thought he was going to get, and he done played a lot better. A guy he was like verbally admiring, the week before, that's caught on camera. Now this is his teammate, and he's taking it on like, okay, I got to play my butt off, because I can't let this man come in here and be like outshine me like that. Like, he come to my team, he can't outshine me. He's taking his play up a whole nother level. And I was already a fan before that. I'm really a fan now, and I hope he can just stay this consistent.
But you know what this reminds me of, Coach?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, this is CJ Mosley and Peanut Owasu, because Peanut was supposed to be he was supposed to be that guy, right? Like, he played really well next to CJ Mosley. And then when we let CJ go, we gave Peanut a shot, and then he's playing out of position, right? And then eventually we let him go because he couldn't fill those shoes. We have our replacements for CJ Mosley and Peanut Owasu now, right? Are they going to pay to keep them there? I don't know. Well, with Queen, I don't think so, but we'll see about Roquan.
All right. And what I was gonna say is, and I know this is flipping back to offense for a second, but I know most people watch this and kind of watch the game as it's going on. But those of you that still think we don't need receivers, did y'all see what Debo just did?
Yes.
Not a pass, a reverse.
Yeah.
And that play was so beautiful because what you see Greg Roman do is what we were talking about earlier with Duvernay, is you just see him do a regular end around. There you had the ball fake to the running back, and then you had Garoppolo handing it off to Debo.
Yep.
So you got the defense flowing one way, and then you really going the opposite way.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not saying Duvernay is Debo because I don't think that, but that kind of deception. Yeah, that kind of deception where you got the defense flowing one way and then you giving it to the wide receiver is just.
And then with us, just imagine us running something like that, and you still got to worry about if Lamar gonna keep the ball or not.
Right.
So you got the fake jet sweep, then the fake handoff, then the reverse, but then you don't know if Lamar got it, so somebody got to stay on the back end just in case he keep it. You got the ultimate weapon, you're just not using it right. But back to defense. We'll go with all DBs. B.
Yeah, again, like I said, this is not an offense that was even attempting to threaten the secondary. But I thought Peters and Humphrey and those guys played really well, considering the circumstances. So I give him a B+. It's nice to see Marcus Peters sort of bouncing back. He's had a rough go for a little while. Marlon Humphrey is continuing what looks to be I don't think he'll actually make All-Pro, but an All-Pro type season. Kind of back to that form. But again, you're talking about Baker Mayfield, and there's only one guy he can throw to, that's of any concern, and that's DJ Moore, and he refuses to throw him the ball. So,
right,
that's what it is.
With mine, I'm gonna go ahead and jump mine now. Basically what I'm gonna say is what B said, so I ain't gonna even go with DBs. Just put my comment exactly what B said, Jose.
I'll give him a B+. I would give him an A, but when Kyle Hamilton went down, who was it, Chuck Clark that came in and he got like 2 penalties like immediately upon coming on there, and I'm just like, you're the veteran, like you got to know better than to do that. But other than that, man, it held him to under 200 yards passing. Had a good interception there at the end, a forced fumble, like everything that we were asking this defense to do, they're doing it. So yeah, B+.
I give him a B+. They just keep picking on my man Marcus Peters. He redeemed himself at the end, but the reason I don't give them an A is because Terrace Marshall Jr. had 87 yards receiving.
No, he didn't.
What did he have? 87,
like 75 or something like that.
76.
Same difference. He should that Terrace Marshall should not have over 26 yards receiving in any game.
Why 26?
He's not that
good. because he's not good, but he's better than James and them.
Woo! Why see? You didn't say no disrespect.
No, I meant disrespect. Don't lie about meaning disrespect.
Trying to put words in your mouth, huh?
It's crazy. See, disrespectful.
Mike.
Man, look, be easy, Hendo, because Terrace was who we wanted. A lot of people wanted him here.
I wanted Terrace.
I wanted Bateman.
They a lot of people wanted him. So, but I mean, look, I give him an A. Look, Marlo is balling. Look, we don't hear his name much, even though he had the pick in the fumble recovery, but we ain't hearing his name because he locking that side down. Whoever he checking right now, he locking down. So Marlo, even though PQ played amazing, Marlo was my defensive player of the game because Marlo just on another level right now, and I think MP plays a part in that, right? He got his guy on the other side. MP, we spoke about this, for weeks on weeks. MP is a step slower, right? But he still has this, as you see, with the fumble, the forced fumble. All things considered, B felt like it was. Say that again, Coach.
I got mad at that play because when dude caught the ball, initially it looked like he was going to quit on the play again.
Oh, okay.
Before he went back and pulled it out, I was getting mad because I was feeling like he was quitting on the play again.
Yeah. I mean, he's still, the mind is there, right? His body is catching up, but man, 44 out there, he balling. Yep. And to me, he's playing on the all-pro level. So I think they did well. I don't want to leave out. I think Kyle Hamilton, up until he got hurt, man, was playing well. I joked with with B and Hosea saying he's looking like a first-round pick right now. Maybe not top 14, but he's looking like a first-round pick. So Hamilton is, he seems to be coming into his own. Hopefully his injury isn't, bad. It sucks that we can't believe anything Harb say.
Right.
Everything he says, man, it just makes it worse to me. So who knows what him or Ronnie's situation is, but I think the secondary played well, in my opinion.
Chris?
Yeah, I thought they played well. I think we're seeing Marlo a lot more in the slot now, which I like to see because it kind of keeps him in the middle of the action. Mm-hmm. And that's where we see, those peanut punches or fruit punch, we see him making more plays and using that physicality because he's not like a normal cornerback that's, shies away from physicality or can't hold his own in the run game. He likes to mix it up. He likes to be physical. So I kind of like him there playing in the slot. And, like Mike said, Kyle Hamilton, he was playing really well before he went down with the injury. And I think we see the Ravens using him more in the line of around the line of scrimmage, which I think is where he needs to be, around the line of scrimmage, instead of playing deep or having a half of the field. Keep him around that line of scrimmage. My MP, like Mike was saying too, there's going to be some good times with MP. There's going to be some bad times with MP. That's just the nature of his game. Yep. He's a gambler. Hey, I'm going to take the good with the bad. Sometimes it's going to be bad plays, but, he's going to make up for it with some of those good plays. So, we already know that with Marlo coming back. I'm just excited that this group is gelling and, Geno Stone is playing well. And then I just can't wait to have Marcus Williams back because, in my opinion, he was playing at an all-pro level before he got hurt. So I can't wait to see him back. I can't wait to hopefully Hamilton's injury isn't too bad, and we could have that full secondary because, like we were saying earlier, it's fine to get away with it when you're playing,
you gotta say no disrespect.
No, I was gonna say Andy Dalton. I was gonna say I wasn't gonna put the franchises out there. I was gonna put the individual quarterbacks. Andy Dalton, Baker Mayfield's. That's not who you're gonna be playing in the playoffs. Right. So, hopefully we get those guys back healthy and good to go.
To piggyback off the point about Marlo playing in the slot a lot, I'd like him playing in the slot because if it's not man, he can be on the run fits. Whereas if you got like Pepe or one of the other corners in there, they ain't got enough bricks in their pocket to be a part of the run fits. So that's another reason I like Marlo playing the slot because if it's not man, if it's some kind of zone, he could fit in the run fits too, and be almost like a linebacker with Roquan and Queen. But as far as the DBs, like I said, I'm with B on that. Let's go into coaching. The coaching offense. I start with you, B.
Greg gets a D. And the only reason it's not an F is because they don't give him the talent to work with. Excuse me. And I saw the comment that you had up there. Imagine if the Ravens had Kyle Shanahan as the OC. I mean, maybe it looks a little bit better, but if you're looking at what Kyle Shanahan's working with, I saw a chart or list earlier that over the last 5 years, they have 3 of the top 5 guys in the league in yards after the catch in Christian McCaffrey, Ayuk, and Debo.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore doesn't have guys like that.
Right.
You know?
No, there's a reason why they traded for Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. They know that, you can have a scheme, you can have a system, and that's all great. You need talent to make it go.
Mm-hmm.
And Baltimore doesn't have the talent. So I don't want to go too hard on Greg at this point. I mean, we've spent a few years doing that. It's fallen on deaf ears, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not giving them any like they're taking things away at this
True.
point, right? You took away your number 1 receiver and didn't replace him. So, it is what it is. He's giving him a D.
Jose?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him an F. Like, yes, we've been kind of light on him, and I'm not saying that he was awful in this game, but yes, like he's clearly limited. We knew at the beginning of the season that he was going to have to be more creative because there wasn't that much talent to start out with on that side of the ball, and the creativity sometimes is there, sometimes it's not. It wasn't there yesterday. The team altogether just looked unprepared on that side of the ball. And the pre-snap penalties, the drop passes. I mean, there's got to be some culpability there on that side. You could say, well, hey, position coaches got to take some blame for that too. Yeah, whatever. Okay, he runs the offense. So if everything was clicking, if they're catching the passes, if they're holding up the blocks and everything, we'd be giving him credit for these, for these plays. They weren't doing that. That's part of it too. You got to get your players prepared. They looked awful. He gets an F. And he didn't do anything creative out there to make us say, well, yeah, if we execute a little better, that could have been a big play. That looked very bland yesterday.
Endo?
Yeah, he gets an F. He's been doing a lot better this season overall, but just like you highlighted the play with San Francisco with Debo, we don't have that creativity. And to B's point about the talent that we have, was this draft not for Greg Roman? Wasn't he the one that wanted 11 tight ends in his offense?
I mean, did he want him in the 4th round though?
Yeah.
Or did he want better players? Like, you can't just say, hey, we went to we stopped by Goodwill and picked up a couple tight ends for you on the way home. Like, I'm sure
I don't ever hear him complaining either, though. Like that's
how are you going to complain? He's like the highest paid coordinator in the league, and he ain't doing his job.
Yeah.
You damn well better not be complaining.
Well, if you don't complain, look, you get what you get. We grade you accordingly.
Exactly. So yeah, he's just done nothing to stand out as the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league.
Every time he's walking, every time Trippy catches him on camera walking to the stadium, he gets the biggest smile on his face, get these big old cheeks.
Well, you smile when you see your friends too, all right? That dude is so short, man. Greg Roman is so short.
Yes, and listen, we were favored by 13.5 points in this game. We didn't even score 13.5 points for the entire game.
Now that's fair enough, right? But I mean, it's kind of on the defense that you only won by 10, right? I mean, they won't make it a 0 like they're supposed to. It's right there. It's right there.
Yeah,
Mike.
Look, I give him an incomplete. Part of the reason why, man, is it's coming off of a bye week, right? You got 2 weeks to prepare for a team like this.
No disrespect.
No disrespect. You typically
like this, my man. Like they're not an NFL team.
I mean, you know what I mean. Hey,
he said you got 2 weeks to prepare for the SWAC.
Leave us out of this. Leave the SWAC out of this.
Let me rephrase. You got 2 weeks to prepare. You got 2 weeks to prepare, period, right? And typically you got what it was either one or two things for me, right? Typically when you have 2 weeks to prepare, you got a script of plays that you can go to, right? Now, either he got out coached in that moment because they just looked horrible, or his scripting or his preparation going into this game just wasn't there. So that's why I give him incomplete. I just was expecting more offensively. He didn't make adjustment. He kind of made that. Typically, we get on Greg for not making adjustments at the second half adjustments. Now this reared his head it reared his ugly head of not making adjustments on the fly. First quarter, going into the second quarter adjustments, it just wasn't there. The run game wasn't there. You weren't doing anything to, kind of get your run game going either through the pass game. It was just missing, man. And I don't know where he was at. I kind of put it on the players early, like, man, they just look like they didn't want to be there. Maybe he was missing his vacation too, and he just didn't want to be back to work. But it just wasn't a good performance from him and his offensive staff.
Chris?
Yeah, the last time we were on here, I was excited, but I was a little bit trepidatious because we've never seen what's his name, Giro, be consistent, and that's the problem. Like, we see these flashes, like the Bucks game. The Bucks game is the perfect example to show what we have with Greg Roman. The first half is nothing. First half, we're talking about firing him. Damn, who's gonna take over? Once we fire him, and then the second half is just like an offensive explosion, and he knows how to call plays again. And I think. Obviously, the offensive coordinator, he can't catch the ball because, speaking on those drops that they had, obviously that can't happen, and that doesn't help an offense. But I think you could still look at some of the play calling, the sequencing that he has. It just doesn't look cohesive at times. And for a team to have Lamar Jackson, we could talk about the wide receivers all we want, but for a team to have Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, they should not look this bad. And a pretty good offensive line. When you look across the NFL, this is a good offensive line. So for them to have the offensive line, Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson, and to just look putrid, like, a bottom 5 offense at times, that's inexcusable in my opinion.
For me, I'm giving them an F. But the offense, to me, is on a curve. I'm at the point where if the offense get us 2 touchdowns, to me, that's their max. I don't care what people say, because all the groceries are on the other side of the ball. So if the offense give us 14 points, we better not freaking lose. So that's where I'm at. I mean, as bad as it looked, and we technically the offense scored 6 points, but I mean, we can add that touchdown in there. After the strip, whatever, because that should have been a defensive touchdown. But if they give us 14 points, we better not lose, because they put all the groceries on the defensive side. The defense got filet mignon, lobster mac and cheese. The offense over there with bologna sandwiches. only thing the offense got is the good bread. That's Lamar.
Facts.
But the rest
got the potato buns.
Right. Got the King's Hawaiian bread. But the rest of it, defensive coaching. Chris.
I mean, I thought he did well. The way he's using Marlowe, the way he was using Kyle Hamilton, the way he's using the 2 linebackers, I think it's great. The rotation that he has now, where he's able to keep the defensive line and outside linebackers fresh. I like what he's doing, and hopefully he's learning, because there were some bumpy moments there early on where you see that greenness work against him, for him not being able to know what to do in certain situations. And hopefully now, he's a rookie, this first time in the big boy league. Right. And I think he's learning and also learning how to use the weapons that he has, and also call a defensive game in the NFL as well.
Mike?
Yeah, I agree with Chris, man. We were hard on the young man, the young guy, the rook, early on in the season, but he seems to be coming into his own. If they keep on this route, and I think I do want to see how he calls a game against a high-powered offense. If he keeps on this route, like, he'll probably be out of here. I think some team will come calling, want to give the young guy. Oh man, this is the young special defensive guy. They're gonna
next
get
big
the
thing.
head coaching job. So I think if he keeps this way, we'll probably end up losing them. But yeah, man.
Take Giro with him.
I hope he does. I hope he does. But I mean, it's just he's doing well, man. He's doing well. I can't take anything from the defensive side of the ball. I mean, 3 points. I don't, I know B is saying, it's not the greatest offense. Look, I took my basketball boys into a rec league and we won a championship, and that championship is a championship, B. We love that championship just like when we won the AAU championship. So hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Did you win a championship recently that they always talk about?
Nah,
The Pick'em League. Yes,
I did win that. I am the defending champ. And for those that are wondering, I did
He's
move
winning
in first place.
he's leading now. Yes.
Yeah. And they changed the rules on me, coach. I mean, I ain't even going. We usually keep this for off the stream, but they changed the rules on me, But I'm back in first place. I just want everybody.
This is your first week in first place.
That's
and,
cool.
and I just want you to know you ain't getting no trophy if you win this year because you broke the last one. All right. You can stay in first and save me some money. All right.
But no, man. Look, man. Mike McDonald, he's coming into his own, in my opinion. I hope he stays there.
Hendo.
Yeah, I give Mike McDonald an A. He is progressing this year. I know I've called him a grad student, but I think he's getting acclimated to the NFL. He held the number 1 overall pick to 3 points under 200 yards. I mean,
unbelievably disingenuous.
That's not what he did. Didn't he do that?
That is true.
Wasn't he the rookie of the year?
Yeah. No, it is true. It is true.
Yes, the rookie of the year, number 1 overall pick to under 200 yards. But now the Mike McDonald's doing it. He's doing a lot better than he did early in the year. I think he's learning situational football. I mean, I take nothing from him. He's doing it. But once again, when we need him most. We'll see.
Jose.
Same thing here, man. I give him an A for this. I'm not going to shout out him with too much praise because that's, we could say he improved from beginning of the year, but look, it was a disaster when we played some teams with some talent on them. So we'll see if he learned from that. I think he learned a couple of things, but I gotta see it before I give you too much praise. Like you're doing what you're supposed to do. And by the way, we added a little bit more talent on that side of the ball as well. That helped.
The groceries,
right? Mm-hmm. So I like what he's doing so far. I'm not gonna criticize it. I'm gonna give you props for doing what you're supposed to do. Play Jacksonville next week. A little bit more talent on that team. I think a little bit better coach team. We'll see if he can keep it going and take this all the way to the playoffs and do this in the playoffs. I'm gonna definitely give you your flowers if that happens.
B.
Yeah, I mean, I would give them a B. They have all the talent on that side of the ball, and they're not playing anybody. So, whoop-de-doo. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The him progressing and all that. It happened to coincide with you playing some garbage ass teams, right? and like that's just when it happened. Now that's not to say that it's not real progression, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, let me know what happens the next time he sees Tyreek. So, and I'll let you know if he progressed or not. Now, I mean, I think we can take one thing from that. Justin is not playing anymore, so that's a little bit of progression in and of itself. Hey, he doesn't even get to dress anymore. But it's I'm not going to get excited.
Is it Justin?
Justin Armour Davis?
No, Jalen.
Jalen. My bad. Jalen. But like I said, it's what the Saints, it's Carolina, it's Jacksonville. I mean, this is the soft part of their schedule. We all expected them to win all of these games. We expected them to win much easier than they did on Sunday. So we'll see when Cincinnati comes back to town. I don't even know if they have another good offense on their schedule the rest of the year outside of the Bengals. I'm not even sure. But we'll see with them, and we'll see when they get to the playoffs what he's really learned with all of that talent.
By the way, Brandon Ayuk just scored a touchdown.
Again. With him, I'm kind of like you guys. He got all the groceries over there. He's learning the NFL. He's learning. He's He's learning, but he got all the groceries, so I can't give him an A. I'm gonna give him a B minus at that, because he got all the groceries. Now, did he call some decent plays in certain situations? I agree. Like the play, just think about, and I want to go back to Marlo for a second. And I was talking about how good Marlo was playing. Marlo had an interception, should have had a touchdown, and should have had a sack. The sack that JPP got, Marlo should have had that sack. Marlo missed that sack.
Yeah.
And we all know about the scoop and score that was blown dead. So
you mean the fumble that didn't happen?
It should,
that was blown dead before he even lost the ball. Like, y'all just keep counting this like it was supposed to be a defensive touchdown when y'all shouldn't even have gotten the ball.
That is
This
true.
is true.
That's true.
the stats say fumble.
I'm gonna remember that the next time you complain about the refs. we gonna look at what the penalty stats say.
That'll probably be next week.
When Jerome is calling the game, you just never know what side is going to fall on. But something like that's gonna happen.
Right. Any parting words on this game?
I have something.
Go ahead.
So last week, was it last show? Not this past one. The one before, maybe before that. We had a spirited chat with some people in our chat about worst wide receiver group in the league.
Yep.
Right. And it was a very spirited debate between the Ravens and the Packers for the bottom of the barrel, and we said the Packers are better.
Yeah, we said as a collective, I think we all said the Packers.
We said,
yeah.
The chat did not think so. But go ahead.
How do y'all feel now? Because Christian Watson leads all. I'm not sure if he leads now. I know Olave got 1 or 2 touchdowns, but he's up there for all rookie.
5 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 5 in 2 weeks. So how we feel about that? Which rookie on our team is going to step up?
Which player on your team is going to step
up? I mean, who has 5 touchdowns on our team individually? I think it's just Mark Andrews. I think he's the only one.
Who's gonna have 5 touchdowns at the end of the year? Not 2 games.
Right.
I'm just curious. Do y'all still think?
I'm waiting to see any. I guess they're ignoring us.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Who's the worst wide receiver core in the league? Do you still think it's the Packers? Because Christian Watson says no.
I know
Dubs was playing good before he got hurt.
Yes.
Yeah. I know somebody who would have helped in the second round.
Did you see that catch yesterday? At the sideline?
I've seen all his catches this year. and I'm starting not to want to watch the Steelers because it gets me mad.
Yep.
And we ain't even played them yet.
Nope.
So we got to watch him twice.
Mega says he'll take USC or Ohio State's wide receiver core over
Ohio. You ain't lying though.
Ohio State.
I don't see the lie.
You are praying one of those dudes end up in Baltimore.
We'll take the last one on the depth chart.
But my closing tidbit about the game is the offense. They were bad, but I don't expect too much more out of them. 13 to 20 points, we better win the darn game.
Yeah.
Because again, my thing going forward, all the groceries are on the defensive side, so they better eat. Anybody else want to sum them up?
Yeah, Harbaugh is horrible. He doesn't come. Listen, we've had one game in 23 days. And I know you're only supposed to look at one opponent at a time, but we had 23 days to prepare for the Carolina Panthers and Baker Mayfield or whomever they tried out there. And this is what we did. We put up 13 points. Thank goodness the defense showed up, because if not, we might have won this game 6-3. Harbaugh just does not have this team prepared at the right moments. I know everybody thinks he's a top 5 head coach of all times and he gets this team prepared. No, he just lucked into a great situation with great players. And once those great players left, he almost got fired. Lamar saved his job. And now he's just living off of the past. And I think Suge, if you're still in here, he said it best. We only have one year, this last season left, to talk about that 2012 Super Bowl. Because after that 10-year window is gone and we have to move on.
This is a 10-year window.
That's what I'm saying. After the season, we can't say nothing else about that. We can't say nothing else about the Super Bowl. It's done.
They can't say anything now. Half of this chat was like 8 years old when it happened.
I remember I had to go to bed early because I had second grade the next day.
Crazy.
We can't get more 14 points from your offense, and this era of NFL, you're not winning the Super Bowl.
100%.
Yeah.
Nah,
yeah.
You don't think Roquan gonna shut down Pat Mahomes?
Wait a minute. So you saying the 13 points we've been averaging in the playoffs since 2018 ain't gonna get it done? But yeah,
I gotta add one more thing.
Go ahead.
I gotta add two more things. EDC gets an F. We ain't forget about you, EDC.
F minus.
Where's Deshaun Jackson? Where's Andy Isabella?
Has anybody ever seen him?
At least we've seen Deshaun in Ravens gear.
I've never actually
I haven't seen Andy Isabella in nothing in purple and black.
He's not real. He's not a real person. I'm convinced he's not real.
Andy Isabella is in the same bubble as Manatee girl.
Hey, that was a sad story, man.
It was.
Listen,
that was sad. I watched it. It was sad.
So is the Andy Isabella one.
Right.
Oh, and listen, yes, Jose, I forgot to mention. Yes, EDC gets an F minus, because I had to think about it. Ronnie Stanley went out and they brought in Pat McCarry, and he immediately gave up a sack. Is this our contingency plan going forward? if Ronnie Stanley can't play,
he's really not real. Like, we haven't seen him in one practice picture. We haven't seen him on the sideline. I wouldn't even know what he looked like on the sideline.
What is his jersey? What is his jersey number?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Like, I'm done. I'm done with looking for Andy Isabella. You know, when we picked him up, I was like, okay, I mean, shoot, he can't be worse than anybody else that we got, but we don't even see the cat. Right. So it's something's going on with this situation, but I'm over it. He's not on this team as far as I'm concerned. Deshaun is still injured, and you called that, Jose. Might not see Deshaun again this year. He's still hurt. But yeah, I'm not gonna give EDC an F. I'm gonna give him an E. I mean, we gotta give him some credit for Roquan, right? Roquan he's showing his due here. It's looking like a good trade. But we'll see. But I'm not gonna give him an F. But he still gets an E just because he leaves that offensive side of the ball just now. I'm willing to bet, though. Melvin Gordon just got released today. I'm willing to bet
he won't.
He'll be in Baltimore at least for a visit. I'm willing to bet.
One session said he saw Andy Isabella at BWI Airport. Was he working there?
Right. What is he doing? He going home? Like,
was he checking your bags, or what?
Going back to Arizona, or what was he doing?
Yeah, man, I give up on that cat.
Well, I think, hey, fellas, that's all I got. If y'all got something else, we're going to roll up out of do these outros and roll up out of here.
I mean, I got one thing. I don't know how many people in the chat this would be like news for, but apparently, per multiple sources familiar with the situation, tomorrow morning, EA is announcing that NCAA college football game is getting delayed till 2024.
Damn.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't believe it was coming anyway.
Yeah.
You got
What's one more year, right?
You got to some kind of way make a good game, but don't make it in the likeness of the kids.
Well, no, I think they can use the likeness now. So
that means they got to pay all the kids?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd rather just make it not in their likeness.
That's what they said.
They're gonna make that money.
Yeah, because the kids get their NIL money. Do you know how many kids you got to pay?
So they make it. They can afford it. It's
Coach,
a multi-billion-dollar industry. NCAA
on this reboot, I don't know.
Coach, the game is $70, and you know everybody's gonna go back to it. So,
I mean, they're not getting. I mean, they're getting a small.
Yeah,
it'll
like probably be like $100. It'll be like $100 a kid or something crazy like that.
Right.
Oh, okay, okay.
You're not gonna make it rich.
Okay, gotcha. That with that number I can do. I was thinking about what O'Bannon was trying to get, or what he did.
O'Bannon was trying to hit him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a class action, though, right?
I think so. Hendo, tell them where they can find your stuff.
You can find me every Wednesday doing the video, the pre-game for the show. You can find me also Sundays doing a live stream at 7 p.m. in the evening after the games, unless they do something special on a Sunday, on a Monday, whatever. I'll do a show then. You can also find me every Friday at noon with my man, Mr. Galloway, with his new show, Electric Relaxation with Mr. Galloway. Check it out. It's all about hip hop, old school, if that's what you're into. If you do, like, subscribe.
Who channel? Yours or his?
It's his channel. It's all him. I'm just,
he's the co-host.
I'm just guiding him until he feels comfortable.
Okay, cool. I definitely gotta check that out because I consider myself a music guy. But I want nice to know other people's taste and opinions in music as far as compared to mine.
Yes, sir. Just don't listen to
with that question before we go to the greatest album of all times.
Whew, we did that. So we actually did a show on that.
What was your answer?
My answer was Ready to Die.
Okay.
Ready, but then it's 1A. I'm sorry, 1A and 1B. Is Ready to Die has always been my number one, but doing the research for the show, I actually had to sit back and think It's Dark and Hell is Hot. You can listen to that. And our criteria is it's got to be an album that you can listen all the way through.
Mm-hmm. So is it just rap or is it music like just R&B? Is it
it's
just
hip hop?
rap?
It's just rap. It's hip hop, rap and hip hop.
Okay. Mike, same question.
That's tough for me, man. I'm gonna have to go. My opinion, my favorite album of all time. I'm gonna say Nas. It was written.
It was written. Oh, okay.
What?
I'm gonna say Nas. It was written. I know
See,
everybody.
whenever Mike says my opinion, every time he about to say something he knows is wrong.
I'm stressed. When I do that, I'm stressed. But I think I think it was written was probably pound for pound his best body of work. But that's just my opinion. Don't attack me. I know how y'all do in the comments. Okay, that's just my opinion. I don't have a hip hop show.
Chris?
None of us.
Hey, the Hendo spoke to my heart with the It's Hot and Hell is Dark. DMX my favorite rapper, and that's the one right there. Once you put the intro on, that's it.
Jose?
I'm gonna go a little bit older. Ice Cube, Death Certificate.
I knew he was going to. That's why I did.
When you watch the show, you're gonna hear him do it, and it's just ingrained in my mind now.
Oh, that's where you got it from.
Yes, I told. And listen, ever since we started doing the show, I talk to him all the time, and all he do, I say something to him. He'd be like, "What's an idea you got for a show?" I'm like, "Man, we should do something like this." So now it's just I don't know. I just keep repeating it.
B.
Man, just without any time to really think about it, just kind of going off the top, I would go with Nas Illmatic.
I almost went with that one.
Now, what's about to come out is the obvious regional bias right now, because you guys are considered Northerners, and I'm a Southerner.
Considered,
because y'all right in the middle.
No, we're below the Mason-Dixon line, so we are a Southern state.
But you got to listen to it all the way through.
Okay.
No skips. Southern playalistic Cadillac funky music.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent choice. I like ATLs. ATLs a little bit.
That's not a bad choice at all.
But that's an excellent choice.
You could go with any number of Outkast albums.
Yes.
Well, I had Outkast in my top 10.
But I also went before I realized it was just hip hop. I had a different album in there, and those that know me know this is my favorite album, and it's during Confessions. I don't think there's an album made greater than Confessions, but that's on the R&B side.
That's a great one. Someone in the chat said the Love Below, and to me that's one of my favorite ones too.
Oh yeah, I like that one too. I like that one too. But it's a lot of good out there. I'm gonna definitely have to check that show out, and because that's a conversation I'd love to get into. Mike, where can they find you?
Yeah, man. So I am the host of Open Mic with OTR Mike. Man, look, that's the show where the mic is open to any discussion, no matter what it is, who it is, or where it is. If you want a different side of us, you will eventually get that from everybody on this screen. It's not all sports. we talk other things, man. We are well-rounded people. So anything from mental health to where you shop, man. How much you
That
willing to
convenience
pay?
episode hit hard.
Yeah. How much you willing to pay for convenience and
Mhm.
other things, man? That's what you can get. So man, Brandon, yeah, man, my man Brandon has been tapped in with me, so I appreciate you. If you aren't subscribed, man, go on over to open mic, man, subscribe, and I got some things coming, man. Actually, this week's episode that dropped today was inspired by my man Hendo, a question that he had, and he wanted my opinion. So go tap in and check that out. I am also 1/3 of what you call, where's that? That whatever. Ring Kings podcast. Jose got it.
Ring Kings podcast.
Jose has it on. B has it on.
Yes.
Man, and that's everything boxing, man. Look, and we aren't just for the hardcore boxing fan. We have things for the casual fan, man. We
Yes.
have sparring sessions. We have our prospect. I can't even think of the name, but B will
Watch
fix it for
list.
me. We have a
Watch
watch list, right? Where we pick a prospect for you, and you just focus in on that prospect and go start watching their fights. So check that out as well. And I am 1/4 of Off the Record. It is, I guess, right now retired.
In
But
hibernation.
yeah, if you want some other things with my opinion on it with my other compadres, go check out Off the Record podcast.
Oh yeah, and one more thing. I'm sorry. You can also find myself and Mike in audio form.
Yes.
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 So we're there now.
Shout out to Hendo. Hendo has moved to the audio side of podcast. So please go check that out. Give him 5 stars. Everybody here that's on audio, give us 5-star rating, man. It helps us a ton. We already appreciate you. Like I said, my man Brandon, he has been tapped in with me, man, and I appreciate you. So all of you guys have showed, everybody in the chat has showed a ton of love, man. So we appreciate you already.
Yes, indeed.
Where are you on the that channel? What number? Any idea?
For subscribers,
Yeah.
161.
161, yeah.
All right. So next week, this show, we're gonna have another push to try to get you to the next number, like we did the first
time. Yes, indeed.
Appreciate that.
So we're gonna have another push next Monday, and if don't let me forget about it. So we're gonna have to plug it all throughout the show, like we did the first time.
Hey, and help get my man Galloway to 100.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please, we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And what I'll do is, I'm definitely gonna go back and put everybody else's links in the what I'm talking about, the description.
Yes, sir.
And then I need to get that one from Hendo and add that one too. And I need to go there and check some of the stuff out too myself. But I'm working with one screen today, so that's why I ain't been as interactive as normal. Chris?
You can find me on Twitter at Chris Just Joking. You could also find some of my work, something I just posted on the Deep Cover podcast channel on YouTube of my top 5 offensive guard prospects coming out in the draft. So let me know what you think about that. Check it out. And also the Deep Cover podcast too.
All right, so I gotta address this because my wife even said something about it yesterday. She said Agent E was worried why you was in the living room. I didn't get kicked out. It's the holiday season, and teachers don't work all week, so I may or may not be at the man cave. I told you I was in the bat cave.
True.
So can't really give away everything. But just know we good. I ain't sleeping on. I ain't got put out. I'm good. I ain't got put out. I know you just messing with me. I know. I ain't take it serious. I just thought it was funny. That's all. Where can they find you guys, Jose and B?
All right, lunch break hot take every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. Also, the overtime show, which happens right after that. You can find that on patreon.com/LBHT show. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT show. And like Mikey already mentioned, Ring Kings podcast. You can follow us everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Ring Kings Pod. All of that is available in audio form. So make sure if you looking to listen to something on your ride to work or during your lunch break, go ahead and check us out and give us a 5-star review.
Cool. And
And we
me,
appreciate you as always, Coach, man. Hey, Coach, thank you so much for bringing us all together. I appreciate this group so much, man. Like you've helped us, build. And I appreciate everybody in this audience, man. Like this is a great experience.
that was
100%.
the actual idea came from somebody in the chat box, but I'm glad that they did it and you guys, agreed to continue doing it, because I was thinking it was gonna be like a one-all thing, or maybe like a 3 times a season, like a preseason, mid-season, and end season. But to do it every Monday, I look forward to it every Monday.
Yes.
To get the different opinions and to see games from a different perspective, because I know I could be blinders. I can have blinders on, especially like the way my opinions of the team has changed is due to listening to you guys' opinions. Because I probably still would have been crochet and making excuses and
You mean we would have been crochet, okay?
So Suge said make sure you check out my Twitch. My Twitch is strictly for my Madden, my league game. Sometimes I win, sometimes I get blowed out. It depends on how Madden feeling one day. But again, I made it to the conference finals in one, and I made it to the first round another. But you don't change what you do. That's all I'm gonna say. Whatever you do to get there, don't change. I changed and got my butt blew out by a screw. But it is what it is.
Okay, Greg Roman.
That was me. I was Greg Roman. I went from throwing the ball around the field to say I'm gonna run all over this cat. Got blew out in the playoffs. First round. Nuts. But hey, that's all I got for you. I'll have videos coming out soon. These guys will have stuff for you throughout the week. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share everybody's channel up here. And again, I'm gonna go back and add everybody's stuff to the description. Hit the like button on your way out. Enjoy your Monday, and this might be the first one we finish before the Monday night game go off. # no 2 hours.